You ever get that feeling, that nagging sense that the life you're living is almost right but not quite real? It's a weirdly unsettling feeling, isn't it? Like you have this potential, this spark of something more inside you, but for most of us, it just stays there, as potential. A life unlived, a song unsung, just hovering out of reach. We follow the rules, we check all the boxes, but there's still this quiet ache, a sense that the person we are isn't the person we could be. Today, we're going to explore a diagnosis for this condition, a reason why so many of us get stuck in the safety of being average.
So, let me just ask you, straight up, is the life you are living, right this very second, truly yours? Or is it more like a script you were handed at birth, a collection of choices made by other people for other people that you just sort of adopted as your own? If you're really honest with yourself, in the dead of night when it's quiet, is this the life you actually chose? I mean, does it fit you, or have you just learned how to fit into it? Now, this question isn't about judgment. It's about waking up. Because the first step to claiming your life is realizing it was never yours to begin with.
And here's the core of it, really. Most of us are navigating our lives using a map that someone else drew. It's a map we were given, with all the major roads and destinations already highlighted for us. You know the one. Go to school, get a good job, buy a house, find a partner, retire. We follow these paths laid out by our parents, our culture, our education, and we do it so well that we start to think following the map is the journey. We become these expert navigators of a land we never even chose to explore. So, let's talk about who drew that map for you.
Okay, so this inherited map, let's dig into that. We need to look at the invisible forces that draw it for us, often before we're even old enough to hold the pen ourselves. And these forces, they're subtle, they're everywhere, and man, are they powerful. They're not some evil villains in a story, they're just the architecture of our social world. They're like the water we swim in. And understanding them, that's the first step toward drawing a map of our own.
So, who are these map makers? Well, first, you've got that quiet hum of societal expectations, always defining what success is supposed to look like, whispering what's respectable, what's stable, what's safe. Then you've got the inherited beliefs passed down through generations, these ideas about money, love, and purpose that we just soak up without ever questioning. And then there's that deep, paralyzing fear of failure, which isn't just about losing, right? It's the fear of looking like a fool for even trying. And maybe the most powerful mapmaker of all, that primal human need for approval, that deep desire to fit in, to belong, to just hear someone say, hey, you're doing it right. Every single one of these forces draws a thick, dark line on your map, guiding you towards a destination that is safe, predictable, and ultimately average. So why do we follow these maps so willingly? Well, because there's comfort on the well-trodden path, right? It's warm, it's well-lit. There are plenty of other people walking it with you. Accepting the answers we're given is just easy. It doesn't require any struggle or solitude or risk. But asking that deeper question, is this really me? Is this path going anywhere I actually want to be? That is terrifying. Because the answer might force you to step off that path, alone, into the dark woods. The answer might mean you have to redraw the whole damn map from scratch.
Okay, so how do you break free from this inherited map? The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche actually gave us a powerful framework for this. He didn't see our development as some simple ladder of success. No, he saw it as a profound journey of spiritual transformation, a series of deaths and rebirths, really. He believed that to become who you truly are, you have to be willing to let go of who you've been. He called this journey the Three Metamorphoses of the spirit.
So first, there's the camel. This is the dutiful spirit, the ultimate beast of burden. It kneels down to accept the full weight of society's expectations. It proudly carries every single thou shalt. Thou shalt be responsible. Thou shalt be productive. Thou shalt be respectable. The camel finds its entire worth in its ability to carry the heaviest load without ever complaining. And honestly, a lot of people live and die as noble camels. But then, the spirit can transform into the lion. The lion is the sacred rebel. It goes out into the desert of its own solitude to face this great dragon called Thou Shalt, and the lion just roars no. No to duty, no to the old map. It destroys those old values with a powerful sacred I will. It's seeking freedom from everything. But just destroying things isn't real freedom. The final and rarest transformation is into the child. The child is a new beginning. It's a sacred yes to life. It's innocence and forgetting. The child is a creator who doesn't follow the old rules but makes up their own game from a place of pure, joyful invention. It stops asking what must I do and starts asking what can I create.
And this is absolutely crucial.
So many people get stuck at the lion stage. They tear down the old map, and then they just stand there celebrating the wreckage. They become professional critics, defined only by what they're against. They mistake rebellion for liberation. But a life of just pure opposition is still a life that's lived in reaction to the old rules. A rebellion that doesn't lead to creation is just another dead end. It's just a different kind of average, one that's disguised as being radical. True freedom isn't just about breaking the chains, it's about building something new in the space that you've cleared.
So what happens to the people who stay a camel, carrying weights they secretly hate, or the ones who get stuck as a lion, just roaring in a desert they made themselves? Well, according to Nietzsche, they often develop this kind of spiritual sickness, a poison of the soul. He called it resentment, and it is the ultimate defense mechanism for a life that was left unlived. It's what happens when the human spirit sours. It's the revenge of the weak against the strong, not through action, but through judgment.
You see, resentment isn't just being in a bad mood. It becomes your entire worldview. It's this quiet poison that whispers, I chose not to climb that mountain, so the mountain must be stupid, and anyone who tries to climb it is just vain. It's the subtle art of turning your own fear into a moral judgment against other people. The resentful person doesn't see their inaction as a failure of courage. Oh no, they see it as a sign of their moral superiority. They're just greedy. They're so arrogant. They're foolishly optimistic. It's a way to feel noble about your own stagnation by tearing down anyone who dares to create.
And this contrast shows you the two fundamental paths in life. When you're faced with hardship, which is inevitable, the creator sees that pain as raw material. It becomes fuel. It becomes depth. It's like the grit in the oyster that creates the pearl. The resentful person, though, they see pain as an excuse. It's a justification for their bitterness, for their inaction. The creator accepts responsibility for their world. The resentful assigns blame for why their world is so small. One builds, the other tears down. And it's a choice we all have to make, whether we realize it or not, and how we respond to life itself.
So, what's the antidote to this poison of resentment? How do you overcome the massive gravitational pull of being average? Well, Nietzsche offers a radical, life-affirming philosophy. It's the ultimate goal of the creator, the final perspective that flips the entire game on its head. It's a philosophy of self-overcoming, all wrapped up in two little Latin words, Amor Fati.
Amor Fati. It translates to a love of one's fate. And as the quote says, this is not passive acceptance. It's not about gritting your teeth and just bearing reality. No, it is an active, joyful embrace of everything that has ever happened to you. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's the ability to look back at your entire life, with all its wins and all its deepest wounds, and to say, I would not have it any other way, because all of it was necessary to make me who I am. It's seeing your fate not as a prison, but as a canvas.
And this is the core of self-overcoming. Your life, with all its flaws, its failures, its misfortunes, that's not an excuse to stay where you are. It is the imperfect block of marble that you've been given. Think about it. A great sculptor doesn't curse the stone because it has cracks and impurities. No, they work with its imperfections, turning them into the unique character of the final sculpture. They create something beautiful, not in spite of the flaws, but through them. Your circumstances, your history, your pain, these are your raw materials.
Which brings us to the only question that really matters. Look at these stages. Look at the raw materials of your own life. Are you still the camel, faithfully carrying weights that are not yours to carry, feeling the strain but calling it duty? Are you the lion, roaring against a world you only want to destroy, feeling free but creating nothing? Or are you ready to become the child, the creator, and begin that sacred game of building a world from your own values? The final challenge is this. What will you build with what you have been given? If this exploration resonated with you, if it felt both a little unsettling and a little inspiring at the same time, then you are in the right place. That feeling, that's the beginning of the journey. Go ahead and subscribe for more philosophy that doesn't just comfort you, but challenges you to create. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these stages resonates with you the most right now? The camel, the lion, or the child? There's no right answer, only an honest one.